All right, we are ready to move on to our second day of slope-intercept form. We're still in indicator 5. So we are doing slope-intercept form day 2. Now, today we are still working on, I probably should learn how to write that. So we are actually going to still write equations. We want our final answer to be in slope-intercept form, but today we are going to be writing equations, and we are actually going to start out in point slope form, and then we will convert our answer to slope intercept. So we did this in class yesterday as well. So we will be writing our equations in this form to begin with, and then we'll distribute and move things over to make it look like this, mx plus b. So the first example we are actually going to do is going to look like this. Instead of giving you a point and a slope today, I'm actually going to give you 2 points on the line. So if we have something like this, you have 2 points, but for point slope, we need a point and we need a slope. And since we are actually given 2 points, we can calculate the slope. So we're going to subtract our y-coordinates. We're going to take 8 minus 5 on top, 6 minus 3 on the bottom to get our slope. And that gives us 3 over 3, which gives us a slope of 1. So we know that when we write our equation, we're going to put in 1 for slope. Now the point, it actually doesn't matter which point you use. You can either use the first coordinate, 3, 5, or you can use the second one, 6, 8. I'm going to choose 3, 5 just because it's smaller numbers. So once you find the slope, then we can plug in to the point slope formula. So we are going to use our y minus our y coordinate here is 5. Our slope is 1. And then we're going to take x minus the x coordinate is 3 that we chose. And then we can distribute like we did yesterday. We get 1x minus 3 and then add our 5 over. Now I'm running out of space, so just bear with me. Y equals, you can either write x or 1x. I'm just going to write an x, and then a negative 3 plus 5 gives me a plus 2. So I'll try to write smaller on the next example. All right, and remember, anytime you can just hit pause. All right, the second ordered pair, let's go with negative 3, 4, and 6, negative 5. All right, so we're going to find the slope. All right, so for our slope, I'm going to take y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Double negative becomes a plus. So this would be negative 9. 6 plus 3 would become a positive 9. So this time I'm working with a slope of negative 1. And then for my point, I can choose either one of those ordered pairs. I can choose negative 3, 4, or I can choose 6, negative 5. One of those original points, I'm going to choose this one, negative 3, positive 4. And so then that's where we calculated the slope. So now we are ready to plug into our formula. Y minus y1 equals the slope times x minus x1. So when I plug this in, y minus, my y-coordinate is a 4, equals, my slope is negative 1, which I got from my work. Then I have x minus, here my x-coordinate is a negative 3. So this is really, I'm going to change it to a plus 3. So then that becomes y minus 4 equals, I'm going to distribute my negative 1, so I get negative 1x. Negative 1 times 3 gives me a negative 3. Then my last step, I'm going to add my 4 over to get y by itself. So it becomes y equals negative 1x, and then negative 3 plus 4 is a positive 1. Now, if you also want to write it like this, you do not have to write the 1 with the variable. If you want to just write negative x plus 1 or negative 1x, that will work. All right, so I have a couple more I want to go through. I promise I'll put the numbers in just a second. All right, so the first thing I want to do is the slope. So I'm going to subtract 5 minus 3 on top, 6 minus 3 on bottom, which gives me a slope of 2/3. So guys, it is okay to have a fraction for a slope. Now you can pick your point that you want to use. I'm going to use 6/5 this time, but if you want to use 3/3, I'll show you here in just a second. You're going to get the same answer. So we're going to go with y minus, my y coordinate is a 5, equals 2/3 is my slope. Then x minus my x coordinate up here is a 6, so I'm going to bring that in. So I can distribute. 2/3 times x is 2/3 x. Now remember, when you multiply a fraction to a whole number, we're going to multiply the top number, divide by the bottom number. So negative 6 times 2 is negative 12, divided by 3 gives me a negative 4. And then our last step, add 5. And our final slope-intercept form becomes y equals 2/3 x plus 1. All right, so make sure that you click on the class examples so you can see more examples like this. And if you have questions, don't hesitate to email me. I hope you guys have a great afternoon. Oh, where did that go?